Hi guys, sorry for my prolonged absence. As you can see, I'm not in the studio today. I'm in my office. Yes, I've been working very hard, which is why I haven't had a chance to post videos. I'm watching most things a little bit late. I just have them DVRing, and then sometimes I don't get a chance to watch them until Saturday or Sunday. But I did get a chance to watch two back-to-back episodes of the Bad Girls Club. I think this is season 12 in Chicago. But before I start talking about that, I do want to say a few special thank yous because I really received some very positive, nice comments from people, and it makes me feel good when people appreciate my opinion or how I speak, or if I look funny. I don't know, any manner of entertainment. I appreciate when people give me something positive. So I want to give a special thank you to BuzzerCam H1, who I see as my fact checker. Whenever I forget something or I leave something out, BuzzerCam pops right up with a comment that's like, "Oh yeah, you forgot this part," or "This is also true," and they are on it always. So I really appreciate that. They also hit me up on Twitter, kind of asking why I haven't been doing videos, and that made me feel good that at least someone noticed my absence. So that's cool. Naughty by Nature, Frank Gibson, Day Kitty Cat, Jeff Caldwell, Just Call Me Mrs. M, Just Read My Books 1, and Kim Lark, or Kim Larc. Thank you so much for those comments. It really made my day. I finally found out how to read the comments. I would get notifications on Google Plus, but then when I would click on it, if I didn't respond right away, I couldn't bring the comment back up. So I just recently found out, as in today, how to go onto YouTube and go into community and then to comment so that I can see the comments and respond from there all on one page. So in the future, I'll be more responsive to comments. So let's get started. Oh, the other reason why I didn't want to do a lot of videos, because while I'm working, I might have an extra 10-15 minutes to make a video, but I don't like going on camera without being prepared. I like to have thought things out, have some notes, and also to look presentable, because I do not have the type of face that is camera ready without some makeup. I have those raccoon eyes, kind of like if you go back in the day to Irulan from Real World Las Vegas, I believe she had the dark raccoon eyes. I have that too, so I need to put concealer on underneath my eyes so that I don't look like The Walking Dead. Other than that, I also have a face full of freckles, and where there isn't a freckle, there's scar or blemish. Well, not really scar, blemishes from previous acne. And to me, acne is like alcoholism. Even if you don't currently have a breakout on your face, you always are acne prone. Just like if you aren't currently drinking, you will always be an alcoholic. So that's the way I have to live my life. If I go 2 days without using acne cream, all this can just bubble right back up, just like that. So I'm cognizant of that. Let's see what I want to start with. Oh, I almost forgot to tell you that I do I wrote a lot of notes on the Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion, and I didn't end up doing a video because, like I said, 1 week turned into 2 weeks, and so I thought it might be too late. But then this past Sunday they had I guess a reunion show of sorts with the husbands, and I have that on DVR. So maybe once I watch that, I'll just do one comprehensive reaction video for the 4 or 5 part reunion, if you include the interviews with Nene and Portia reunion, all in a nutshell, and hopefully it will be less than 45 minutes long. Anyway, let's talk about Bad Girls Club. The first person I want to talk about is Lindsay, because she kind of went out with a bang. And a lot of people just thought that she was drunk. I do not think she was drunk at all. I think that it was something heavier than that. I think that she had mental or emotional, well, all the women in there have emotional issues, but she, in addition to emotional issues, she has probably some psychological issues. And I believe that she was high on something, because everything she did from the moment she got out of, from the moment she was in the limo to when she got out of the limo and was interacting with the cameraman and the producers, it reminded me of the ending of 90% of Intervention. I mean, if you've ever watched Intervention, which unfortunately they don't, it's canceled, they don't show it anymore, and I really miss it. It was one of the best shows on TV. At the end of Intervention, whenever they would confront the addict, they would act the same way that Lindsay acted before she left and hopped in the van. That was addict behavior. So that's what I have to say about her. Now I want to talk about Jada. She has heart. I like her because she has heart. I mean, anybody gets in her face, she's not going to back down, and you have to respect someone that's not going to back down. But she did lose points with me for kissing Red on the first day, because you don't know her, you don't know where her mouth has been, you don't know her hygiene. Well, we know it a little bit. I mean, if leaving tomatoes on countertops is any indication of her hygiene, I don't know. I just wouldn't allow someone to put their mouth on mine without knowing them for 12 hours or so. I mean, that was kind of gross. Blue is like the voice of reason, and I like her. Later on in, I think, episode 2, I love how she was in the hallway and she's saying, why can't we just talk like adults? Meanwhile, she's holding a Capri Sun juice box. Only wasn't a box, it's like the little silver bags, but I just thought that was so funny. Slim, I don't mind Slim. To me, she hasn't really done anything except make some people feel insecure about themselves. Kentucky, which name? I wrote down the names. Britt. Britt is the girl from Kentucky. So far, she seems all right. I haven't seen her do anything like really extreme yet. I feel like Lauren is definitely hating on Slim because of some of the things she says. And I wrote down some of these things because I would not remember how to say this in her particular vernacular. The first thing she said is, she's always trying to explain some shit. Because that is horrible to have, that's absolutely horrible to have a person actually sit there and try to speak to you using logic and reason. That's unforgivable. When she was talking to her friend on the phone, I wish you were here because you always rationalize me. You were this close to using the right terminology, so you get like half a point for that. Also, the whole I'm a bad bitch, the way she says bitch. Oh no, it's hilarious to me. She's just running around bitch. Oh goodness, forgive me. I'm not making fun of anybody's accent. I just thought it was funny the way she says that term. What else? Oh, I know actually what I think that Lauren's problem with Slim is that Lauren is used to being the pretty girl. She's used to being the classiest girl in her hood or wherever her surroundings are. She is used to being the top dog, and then when she got there, she saw Slim and was like, wait a minute, I'm not as classy as her. Now she's the classier one. And I'm using the term classy loosely because that's how they described it. But I think that's what her issue is. A lot of people saying that they love Red and they find her so hilarious. I don't find anything really funny about Red. Hold on, I like to drink my evening coffee while I'm doing this. And God, I love you. You stain my teeth horribly, but I can't live without you. So, the first thing, of course, everyone notices about Red is her size. And that was kind of a concern to me because I had a friend that was Red's size. And I remember she was always looking forward to trying to get her gastric bypass. And she used to always say, oh, when I get my bypass, I'm going to go to the beach. I'm going to go to the beach. And we're down here in Florida, so we can go to the beach at any time. It's only 40 minutes away. And one week I was, sitting on the couch watching reality shows with her, and the next week she passed away. Just out of the blue, she passed away. And I still feel kind of guilty to this day that I didn't talk her into going to the beach anyways. I should have talked her into just going to the beach anyways. But she was also not from Florida. And what I noticed, because Red is from Florida, and if you've ever gone to a Floridian beach, a lot of Central Floridians do not care about size. You will see a woman Red's size in a two-piece string bikini, and they will not care. That's what they do. And that's actually kind of cool in one way, but in another way, they have to be cognizant of health concerns because, like I said, you have a friend and they're here one day and gone the next day, and she was only 34 years old. So that's kind of a serious issue. I already mentioned the nasty tomatoes on the counter. I did not like that at all. Also, Red kept on calling attention to her weight, and I feel like if you have to constantly call attention to it, then you're not as happy or comfortable with it as you're proclaiming to be. The shower scene kind of, I could have lived my whole life without seeing that. I don't even look at that on myself. What I mean by is like the rolls, because I have extra 20 pounds on me now, and like I'll show you. I'm not ashamed. Look at this. Pull my shirt down. You can see a roll there and a roll there. And I hate that. Especially since, like I said, I'm in Central Florida, and about 2 weeks is going to be 96 degrees or hotter for the next 3 months. And I can't wear anything backless because I'm going to be thinking about those rolls. And don't think that they don't sweat. That's one thing I've learned about since gaining weight is that you sweat more, and you sweat in places that you never sweated before. I'm sorry to share too much information, but that's what it is. I was going to say, I was kind of thinking to myself that Red, unfortunately, is the size that she could take all her clothes off and her coochie still wouldn't show. I don't know. I have these random thoughts like that. I also think that Red is hating on Slim too, because she didn't even really give her a chance. She just said, well, do I look like I have any model friends? I mean, how is that? You don't just... I think they're equally wrong. Slim would be equally wrong for judging Red for being big, and Red is equally wrong for judging Slim for being slim. So I didn't really care for that. Also, like I was saying about the weight issue, she keeps calling herself a big girl, but she's not a big girl. She would be clinically deemed morbidly obese, which means that's a huge health issue. And I don't think she's going to find it too funny if, because it's not always the case, but more likely than not, if she has diabetes or has have to have a triple bypass or, some kind of coronary work, that's not going to be funny at all. So this whole, I'm a big girl and I live with it, that's not cool. That's not, I think it's putting on airs. I mean, there probably are some people that truly are comfortable with themselves, but I don't think she is one of those people, because if she was, she wouldn't have to call so much attention to it. I think that she's not comfortable with it, and I can't say I blame her, because I'm not comfortable. When I mean not comfortable, I mean physically not comfortable. I mean, since putting on the 20 pounds, I can't wear my 6-inch platform shoes anymore because my ankles are too weak because I'm carrying too much weight. I've been wearing yoga pants and leggings every day. Thank goodness I work from home, so no one has to see that, but it's just more comfortable than wearing jeans when you get a little bit chubby. And now I realize that's why when you go to Walmart and you see very large people with the leggings on, it's because it's more comfortable. It just is. What else? Oh, the underwire. Sorry, this might get a little bit graphic, but the underwire in your bra really starts to hurt when you get bigger, and I'm not used to being bigger. That could be the other thing now that I think about it. If you're a person who's never been physically fit, of course you would say that you're happy the way you are because you don't know what it feels like to not be that way. Whereas with me, I've been physically fit before. I mean to the point where I went to college on an athletic scholarship, Division I. I had 2% body fat. I was as fit as you could be to play, and I was actually volleyball, by the way, and I was the third shortest woman in the league. So that was it. That was kind of cool. But when you feel that fit, and then when you let yourself go, so to speak, you can really tell the difference between how you used to feel and how you feel now. Now, of course, I don't want to be 2% body fat again, but I would like to feel strong enough to walk in heels without my ankles feeling like they're going to fall apart. That's something I would like. But the other negative about being that fit is sometimes you tend to not have a backside or any chest, which is why I bringing me back to the whole point that I started with the whole underwire thing. When I was younger, I never had to even wear. I mean, I wore it out of decency, but I never had to wear a bra. I could wear a training bra until I was 24 years old. So now this whole wearing an actual molded bra thing is kind of uncomfortable. I'm getting used to it because stuff didn't used to shake and now it shakes, and I'm like, where did that come from? I don't know. And then you worry, well, if I drop the 20 pounds, are they going to go away? Because I kind of enjoy having them now. I don't know. Back to what I was talking about. Speaking of that, I had a nightmare last night. This is another tangent, but it kind of relates to what we're talking about here. I had a nightmare that I went clothing shopping and nothing fit me. Everything that I tried on was too small in the chest. And I'm not that big, but in the dream, I was built like Wendy Williams. And nothing I tried on would go around these gigantic boobs. And I need to look up what that represents in a dream, because I never had a dream like that before. I know about running in a dream, falling, swimming in water. Those all have a representation. But what does having, a triple E size breast in a dream, what does that represent? I have to look that up. Next. I did make a note about the sundresses. I now understand what women were talking about. I used to look at my friends like they were crazy because they would say, oh, I can't find a sundress that fits over my boobs. And I'd be like, I don't understand this. I could wear whatever. And now I'm like, put something on. I'm like, this doesn't even cover how to... I'm in their world now. Wow. Now I want to get into Slim. The whole she thinks she's better than us thing. That makes no sense to me. Because if she thought she was better than you, she wouldn't invite you to do the photo shoot with her. She wouldn't have invited you to go to her fashion show if she thought she was better than you. That was kind of out there. And then everyone claimed that they wanted her to tell them about herself. By her inviting you into her world, that's doing one better than just telling you about herself. She's showing you about herself, how she lives, what she does. But they are a little too dumb to realize that. And I also noted that she's kind of at a disadvantage because she doesn't speak ratchet. And I kind of understand where she's coming from, because in my hometown there were people of different socioeconomic levels. And we were a little bit separated by neighborhoods. But we had one middle school, so everyone had to go to the same middle school unless they went to Catholic school or private school. And I went from a small elementary school where there was probably maybe 7 to 10 minorities in all 6 grades. I mean, all 6 grades, it was like 7 to 10 of us in the whole school. And at first I felt really excited about going to middle school and being around more minority students. But when I got there, I kind of had a similar experience as what Alex had. And sometimes some of the students, because we had, like I was saying, on my side of town, it was more suburban. People lived in houses, usually 2-car garage. Some people had pools, some people didn't have pools, that type of thing. And then the other side of town, there were projects. So there were so you had the kids coming from the projects in the middle school and the kids coming from the other side of town to the same middle school. And now they're interacting with each other, and it was kind of like a cultural clash somewhat. And that's when I learned, like how Alex is learning right now, that certain things, I shouldn't say hood people because not all hood people are like this, but certain things ratchet people find offensive. And it could be something as small as flipping your hair. It could be something as small as how you speak, because sometimes people attack you because you don't speak the same way they speak. And that's completely ignorant to me, because why would you attack someone for having more of, this is what I call it, a suburban accent. You wouldn't attack someone for having an African accent. You wouldn't attack someone for having a Jamaican accent. So why would you attack someone for having a suburban accent? That's where they came from. That's how, and a lot of times how their family speaks. If you spoke to my mother, she sounds like how I sound. If you spoke to my father, he sounds the way I sound. Except he can go in and out of patois, and I can't at all. I mean, I can say some things with a Jamaican accent, but I can't switch in and out of patois like that, but he can. What else? talking about, oh, I wrote down something that reminded me of something that offended some of the kids I went to school with. They were talking about, I guess they were talking about clothes or something, and I didn't know what layaway was. And that was, I got clowned forever because I didn't know what layaway was. And it's just, I had never heard of it and I never saw it because in my family, if you don't have the money for something, you don't get it. Then when you save up your money or your work or whatever, and then when you get the money, then you go and get it. There was, I think the only things that were ever financed were cars and homes. Other than that, I didn't really see anything else being financed. It's either you have the money to get it or you don't have the money to get it. And it was so funny because some of the things that I couldn't understand, this is, mind you, I'm talking about 12-year-old me, not current me. Obviously, I understand things now, but at 12 years old, I did not understand how these kids lived in the projects, but they had brand new Jordan sneakers on, Timberland boots, and Ralph Lauren clothes. And I did live in the projects, and I had clothes from Sears and JCPenney. And then I think I might have mentioned that to my grandmother, and she noted that, yeah, you don't have that, but you have a pool in your backyard and a swing set and a computer. I mean, that computer costs as much as, a couple pairs of Jordans. How much do you think it costs to have that pool? How much do you think did it cost to buy that swing set back there? And it's just a matter of, I guess, choice, whatever you choose to spend your money on. But back then it didn't feel that good because people are, ragging on you because you're not wearing what they're wearing. Not even knowing that I didn't know until I was grown that I actually was wearing some decent things. I had some leather shoes that were by Bass, and they clowned me forever. And I didn't either know that Bass is a pretty good name shoe. And I had a Boulevard watch, and at that time swatches were in, so you had to have the little rubber swatch with the there was like a little guard. It was like a little plastic or rubber thing that goes on top of the watch. But I wanted one of those so bad, and I had this Boulevard watch, and I felt like such a loser. And now I would love to have a Boulevard watch. Like that would be something. I wish I had kept something like that. And then, but things got better in high school. I worked a couple places in the mall, and so I was able to pick out my own clothes rather than just having to pick from JCPenney and Sears. And I ended up pretty much looking like Cher from Clueless. Although me and my friends did that in '93 and Clueless came out in '96. So I almost felt like they were watching us and not really. They just captured a moment in time that was really, really true to life. I don't know. You had to have lived it. So, by the way, that is why I believe Alex burped in a limo. I believe that was an attempt to try to make herself look as though she doesn't take herself so seriously, to try to appeal to those other young ladies, but it completely backfired. It didn't appeal at all. It was kind of gross, but I understand what she was trying to do. She was trying to do something to make them see her as a little bit more on their level. On the topic of why Alex is there, because that's been discussed a lot. It does seem as though her bad girlism is not as bad as the other girls, but we don't know everything that she's done just yet. And even though she is from a certain area, doesn't mean that certain things don't happen there. I mean, some of the same things that happen in the city happen in the suburbs. I mean, you still have drug abuse, alcoholism, you still have rape, you still have child abuse. Even in the wealthiest areas, you still have those things. The only difference may be the vice. Like, a person in the city, maybe their mother is a crackhead, and that's no good. But then you come to the suburbs, and if your mom's sitting there popping 2 or 3 Valiums and then drinking martinis, she's equally useless as a parent as the crackhead mother. It's just, what it is. We don't know. All we know is that her father played college football. Or I'm guessing it's football. But we don't know anything about her mother. We don't know anything about how her life has been up to this point because, like many people, she hasn't shared that. I mean, I can't blame her. I don't really share a whole lot about myself if I don't know someone, for more than a couple days. But then at the same time, I do share a lot when I speak on on here. I mean, I share a lot with you guys, and I don't even know you at all. So it's kind of like an inconsistency or incongruency. It's just weird. So the other thing, Alex, why she might have been chosen, for diversity. They like to have polar opposites on Bad Girls Club, if you haven't noticed. And it just seemed kind of coincidental that they have this tall, slim model girl on the same season as they find the shortest, widest, loudest Floridian girl. That just seems really planned. And it also could be, I found out that the producers of the Bad Girls Club also produce The Real World, and sometimes people will try out for The Real World and get placed on a Bad Girls Club, and sometimes people will try out for the Bad Girls Club and get placed on The Real World, because the Bad Girls Club always needs that one person that is different from all of the rest so that there can be a little bit of controversy. And The Real World always needs that one wild card. Ever since the season of Puck, or was it David? I don't remember which season happened first. Either it was David pulling the sheets off of Tammy, which wasn't not funny, or it was Puck with his fingers in the peanut butter, and he was still, just thinking about him disgusts me. But once they've realized that, oh, wait a minute, when we get some, off-balance person on here, the ratings go up. So, which is actually how they came with the Bad Girls Club. They decided that, oh, well, this one person always gets all of this attention. What if we took a group of people like that and put them in a house together? And that's where you get Bad Girls Club. I wish they would have a male version of that again. They kind of did with From G's to Gents, and I kind of missed that show. That was a really good show. But that gave the world riffraff. So, yeah, there's that. I have no transition for this. The Alex fashion show, if they were feeling, as they say, some kind of way about Alex, had they seen her friend with the curly hair, they really would have been hating, because that girl was beautiful. They would have hated her. They would have made them feel really, really ghetto. But it's best that she didn't invite them because of the way they act, with the exception of Blue. I believe Blue would have been able to go to that event and fit in perfectly, because she kind of looks like a fashion plate herself. She kind of gives me a little bit of like what you would say, a tomboyish Solange type thing. Even I love the way she tied her shirt around her waist, how it was sideways. I thought that was really, really cute. And even the blue natural hair is beautiful. And when she had her hair done up and she had the sunglasses on, she just looked like a rock star. I think she would have been able to go to that event and probably get some modeling gigs from it. I don't know. For like print campaigns, because she's not like runway models. They have to be a certain size. But I thought that Alex was a little bit too hippie to be a runway model. They usually like the shoulders and the hips to be about the same, but it could have been that dress, because when Alex was wearing her shorts, she didn't look hippie at all, but when she had the dress on the runway, she did. So I don't know what that was about. Speaking of phrases, because I did mention feeling some kind of way, I've noticed that the bad girls seem to use the same phrases repeatedly, and I wrote down the most popular phrases. Turn up, pop bottles, feeling some kind of way, pop off, bad bitch. And then I thought, if you took all those phrases away, would Lauren be able to speak? In closing, I feel like the theme of all of the Bad Girls Clubs is to take chicks that feel like they're top dog in their respective areas and put them together in situations where they're not top dogs. And this is how I kind of theorized it. Lindsay thought that she was the toughest ratchet white chick in her blue-collar Jersey town. But then she met Jada. She expected Jada to pull hair, but Jada pretty much yip-manned her face. So she learned from that. Then you have Jada, who thought she was the toughest white chick. That's kind of, my husband called her wiggerish. And I feel like he can say that because he's not black. You know how black people, we can say, I give him that pass. I feel like we can say nigga because we're black, but we can't say or as I was told, we can't say the G word that they use on Jersey Shore a lot. I'm calling it the G word out of respect for Italians and Sicilians, but I understand that they can use that term. So I feel like wigger is kind of like that too. It seems like if we call someone a wigger, it's kind of an insult. But if they call themselves a wigger, then it's not an insult, if that makes any sense. Anyways, Jada thought that she was going to be the only one. But then Britt showed up and showed that they also have wiggers in the country. And they kind of cancel each other out. Britt thought that she was going to be the toughest, probably thought, this is all speculation, thought that she was going to be the toughest country chick. And she expected that she was going to, rep for down south. And then Lauren showed up, and Lauren was repping for down south also. So they kind of cancel each other out. Then Lauren views herself as the spoiled, pretty daddy's girl. And she probably did get hated on in her hood because she had, the expensive shoes or the longest weave or whatever they're using to determine hateability. And then she comes and sees that Alex is also a spoiled daddy's girl. So they kind of cancel each other out. It was funny. It's like Lauren fully expected to be that chick with the $400 shoes that everyone hates on, and then she walks in the house and meets that chick with the $500 shoes that everyone hates on. That's gotta hurt. Then Blue. Blue is supposed to be the bisexual chick that is womanizing and manizing people because she has relationship issues and trust issues. Then along comes Red. What does Red do? Red is making out with women the first night and jumping in showers and calling people sexy. So they kind of cancel each other out. It's almost like the Highlander. There can only be one. But that's what I think the whole thing is set up to. It's just instead of putting opposites, they're putting people who are very similar to each other and watching them self-destruct. If that makes any sense. I'll have to say, well played, producers. Very well played. If you made it to the end of that without your head exploding and you actually were able to follow my meandering thoughts, thank you. I will say this. I did start medication for my ADHD a couple weeks ago, and it said it takes 6 weeks for it to work. So I am interested in seeing if this will change how my videos are at all, whether it'll make me a little bit more linear in how I process things. But we'll see. Thanks for watching.